Good Saturday evening. I'm meteorologist Michelle Boss with a special KREM 2 Plus weather forecast broadcast. Time's not really much of a constraint here, so hopefully we'll be able to go over the potential for some strong winds and talk about the forecast in detail over the next several minutes. So we are under an impact alert for tonight. This is Saturday night. This is about 9:45 p.m. when I'm doing this broadcast, just to give you some context. And we are expecting some strong winds to move in over the next couple of hours. We'll take a look at current wind conditions and other weather conditions in just a moment. But we are expecting those winds to pick up just before midnight tonight, and they're going to stay strong through the overnight hours. We've already had strong winds over the last 24 to 48 hours. We did have a 52 mile per hour gust on Friday night around 10 o'clock with a first cold front moving through. We're going to have another cold front moving through tonight. That's going to give us another burst of strong winds. And we had a squall line move through earlier today. So just an area of heavy rain with some gusty winds that produced a wind gust just under 50 miles per hour at the Spokane airport. So we're going to have several rounds of winds. But this is going to be a pretty sustained periods of some strong winds. So if you haven't had a chance to, say, secure your Halloween decorations, it might be a good time to do that before you go to bed tonight, just so you don't find them a couple blocks down sometime tomorrow morning. So that is our weather impact alert. Taking a look at current winds right now. Again, this is just before 10 p.m. on Saturday night. We're not really seeing a lot of strong winds right now, but just like on Friday night, we went from 8 or 9 mile per hour winds 1 hour. The next hour, it was 40 to 50 miles per hour. So it is going to be coming up pretty quickly, but 13 mile an hour sustained winds, still pretty breezy across the inland northwest at the 10 o'clock hour, 16 miles per hour in Ritzville, looking at sustained winds around 13 miles per hour in Coeur d'Alene, and this is generally from the southwest. We are seeing some wind gusts, not very impressive right now, just in the 20 to 25 mile per hour range at both Spokane and the Pullman Regional Airport. Temperatures, of course, much cooler today than they were yesterday. We were talking about mid 60s on Friday, which was well above average. We're kind of done with that kind of warmth. We made it into the lower 50s today, but currently in the 40s, and we're not going to see temperatures much warmer tomorrow afternoon. In fact, we'll be lucky to get into the upper 40s. But right now, 44 in Spokane, 45 in Sandpoint, pretty similar temperatures all throughout the inland northwest, 49 in Grand Coulee. We do have a couple of 50s down in Lewiston and Pomeroy, but otherwise, some cold air has certainly moved in, and even colder air moving in over the next couple of days. So look at the almanac numbers. 51, we did make it into the lower 50s this afternoon, just barely before the rain really started coming down. Our average high this time of year is 52. Average low still above freezing. We really haven't had very many days where temperatures have gone below freezing, at least at the Spokane airport. I think we've only had one day we dipped down to 31, and the rest of the days have been above freezing. Record high 71, of course, nowhere near that, and thankfully nothing near the record low 12. That was way back in 1919. We did pick up a nice amount of rain today, 2,900s. We'll take a look at some more of those rainfall totals coming up in just a moment. And a quick look at sunrise and sunset. Of course, the sunrise is getting later. We'll get a little bit of a reprieve once daylight saving time ends, and we'll get that earlier sunrise. But then, of course, we sacrifice the afternoon daylight. Right now, sunset at 5:43. But again, we will be flipping the switch on that once daylight saving time ends in a couple of weeks, I believe. All right, here's a look at the rainfall totals for today. Again, just under a third of an inch at the Spokane airport. Coeur d'Alene airport, 1,500ths. Deer Park, 4/10ths. Moses Lake, just under a quarter of an inch, and Pullman reporting 1,300ths. And just to give you a little bit of a broader perspective at some of those rainfall amounts, I've kind of added a few more here on the map. So up in Sandpoint, about a third of an inch. Spirit Lake, a little over a quarter of an inch. Post Falls, about a quarter of an inch. And in Pinehurst is where I believe that observation was. 3/10ths, 1,300ths in Lewiston. And looking across central Washington, got a report out of Ritzville, 3,200ths. Omak, about a quarter of an inch. Wenatchee, 1,800ths. Grand Coulee, about a quarter of an inch. and Kettle Falls. I believe that's the observation up there, north central Washington, just a little over 1/3 of an inch. All right, this is a look at current radar. We've seen the bulk of the rainfall for today done with, and it's going to be dry for a little bit. It's mostly going to be a wind event tonight, so don't expect much more in the way of any wet weather outside of the mountains. So we are still seeing some showers and expect those showers to continue over the higher terrain during the overnight hours, but should stay dry in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Don't be fooled. We might actually see some sunshine tomorrow morning. It is not going to be a sunshiny day. I think the winds will kind of give away the fact that it is going to be a pretty active weather day, because we will see those gusty winds through early tomorrow morning. This wind advisory is in effect right now and continues until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So as you can see, most of eastern Washington and North Idaho lit up there. And we're looking at sustained winds out of the southwest at 20 to 30 miles per hour. But again, we could see wind gusts of 35 to 50 miles per hour. So it's going to be windy overnight. We'll also stay windy on Sunday, but overall during the day on Sunday, we're looking at wind gusts of around 30. So it won't be as bad throughout the day, but overnight, again, a lot of stuff going to be blowing around. Also want to talk about snow. We do have a winter weather advisory generally for the higher elevations in the Cascades and western Okanagan County above 3,500 feet. So we're talking about Washington Pass and Stevens Pass. Those two locations could see some moderate snow. Not so much for the North Idaho passes, at least for this particular round until you get into northwest Montana. We'll likely see a little bit of snow at Lookout Pass, but right now it's not looking like anything heavy. As far as the weather map is concerned, well, here's our big upper level low, and you can see the precipitation kind of rotating around that. A lot of cold air and even colder air out to our northwest. Actually get a better look at this storm system with our water vapor loop. So these aren't clouds, this isn't rainfall, this is the water vapor in the air that's invisible to the naked eye, but we can kind of pick it up here with our satellites so you can see the nice rotation there. That's our storm system. It looks kind of like, oh, you know, it's heading off to the northeast, it's going to be out of the way, but we actually have more energy coming in behind that, and that's going to be our second round of showers coming in on the afternoon on Sunday. Just a quick look here, it's kind of hard to see. This is Snoqualmie Pass. I was talking about snow over the mountain passes, but again, Snoqualmie Pass is only at 3,000 feet, and we're looking at accumulating snow above 3,500 feet, so shouldn't have any travel problems tomorrow across Snoqualmie Pass. But strong winds tonight for our weather headlines, gusts 35 to 50 miles per hour. More showers, breezy and cold on Sunday. High temperatures in the 40s. Quiet and cold weather for Monday and Tuesday. We should be dried out by the day on Monday, but it's going to be pretty chilly. High temperatures only in the 40s the next couple of days, so below average there. It does look like as we head towards Halloween, that is on Friday. Can't believe we're almost already there. 52 for a high. That probably puts trick-or-treating temperatures if you go right after sunset in the 40s, so not warm, but not frigid. Where are we on the, temperature calendar? Well, we've already passed the midpoint of October, where our average highs were in the upper 50s, and we are getting close to Halloween, where the average high is only 49 degrees. Yes, it just keeps getting colder. All right, take a look at Future Tracker. This is your Sunday morning. Again, probably seeing a lot of sunshine, but also a lot of wind, especially early in the day. This is at 7:30 in the morning. And then by afternoon, we'll see additional rain moving in, starting to see more snow, especially over the higher terrain. And I think the coldest air is going to be coming in at the tail end of this storm. So just as it starts to dry out, it may be cold enough to see some snow across the Idaho Panhandle, even the lower elevations, but I think Spokane is going to miss out on any wintry weather this round. The wet weather will be out of here just before it gets cold enough for us to see any snow. And then it looks pretty dry later Monday into Tuesday, so we'll enjoy some quieter weather and not quite as windy. Temperatures, this is what we're looking out for. Lows on Sunday in the upper 30s, highs only in the middle and upper 40s. It should get chillier Monday morning, and then chillier Monday afternoon with highs only in the mid-40s here in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Here's a look at that extended forecast. 48 tomorrow, some showers, breezy conditions. Morning showers on Monday, that's really early in the morning, like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. It'll probably be out of here by 8 or 9 o'clock and be dry for the rest of the day on Monday, dry on Tuesday. More showers on Wednesday. And then again, it looks milder for Halloween, but we may have to dodge some showers then.